Yo, what's good, man? We finna react to Gideon, Destiny, Nick Fuentes, and Sneeko. Basically, I seen this earlier today from another YouTube channel, and I just wanted to make my own reaction to it. Basically, this clip that I'm showing y'all, they're basically talking about racism, not really racism, but interracial marriages and religion, and basically their children. And I just wanted to give y'all my reaction to it.
How do you feel about interracial marriages?
I'm against it.
Ah,
And and personally, me, I'm against interracial marriages, not because of race, but it's really because of historical background. Like, I'm black. I wouldn't be able to date a white woman, an Asian woman, a Mexican woman, because we come from two different places, you feel me, historical wise and background wise. Like, I wouldn't be able to teach my kid black culture. You feel me? Like, I want my kid to know black culture. You feel me? Like, where he comes from. You feel me? Like, I want my kid to come from where I come from. You feel me? That's the whole point, is to reproduce you. You're not trying to reproduce somebody else's child. You're trying to reproduce another version of you and pass on you to your other child. You feel me? You can't do that with another race. Yeah, you can, but it's not the same, if you get what I'm saying.
there you go.
Yeah.
What about you, DeGion? Do you believe in mixed love?
Mixed love, man. Love is love, bro. I love my snow bunnies. I
Hey,
love my
you really-
Latino. Love my Asian girls.
And another thing with that is we confuse lust with love, you feel me? Like, lust is sexual attraction, you feel me? Physical attraction. Like, you might like that white woman, you might like that Asian woman, or that black woman, or whatever it is, you feel me? That don't mean you love that person, you feel me? Like, love ain't love. You can't, you feel me? Y'all, you gotta keep an open mind for what I'm finna say, you feel me? You can't really love someone that isn't you feel me? Like, say, you feel me, a person like, let's get off race, you feel me? Let me bring it to y'all where y'all can understand, you feel me? A person who's a Catholic, or a person who's, you feel me, a Christian, you feel me? He wouldn't want to date anyone that's not Christian, because that's not who he is. He wouldn't want to bring his kids up in a non-Christian household, because that's not who he is. He wants his family. That's how you build structure in a family, because it's togetherness, you feel me? Like, if somebody's off pace and they not with the program, that whole family can collapse. That whole foundation, everything that it was built off of, was meaningless, if you get what I'm saying. And you got to have some type of structure in life.
Nick Fuentes, man.
I gotta ask, Nick, how do you feel when you see a black guy just getting with the snow bunnies? Like, is that something that like rustles your jimmies?
She's
Is
gonna
that
get
something
BBC'd, Nick. Your
not
white
with?
girl's gonna get BBC'd.
Well, the problem is all these white girls always end up getting their ass kicked and left behind. That's what typically happens.
What are you
Wait,
And that's a fact too. Most black people do not respect white women. You feel me? They treat them like shit. Like, that's with most people. You feel me? Because they don't understand them. Like, that's with anybody. A black man might be the white woman. A white man might be the black woman, or any race. It's usually a lot of domestic violence, bro. And y'all can look this stuff up, bro. What he said is a fact. Like, they was laughing at it, calling it crazy, but that's definitely a fact, because they don't know how to treat it right. They don't know how to, you feel me, really love on this woman right, or this man right, because it's not them. It's not, you feel me, it's not who they are, you feel me? So they not gonna treat it. But let a black man and another black woman get together and they, you feel me, truly love each other, it's not gonna happen, bro. Like, you don't really see a lot of domestic violence among, you do, you feel me, by the news, but in real life you don't see a lot of domestic violence amongst same race couples versus interracial couples. And that's a fact, bro.
What?
Are you asking by who?
My black boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Bro,
Hold on, what happened?
You trying to say we out here beating these white women? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, that is something that happens. Maybe not you guys. You guys.
Nigga, this is your friend.
I just met him on stream. But Jadian, one thing I'm gonna say, you're reading the Malcolm X book right now. You know who else is against interracial marriages?
Malcolm X.
All right.
Yeah.
So he's saying
Muhammad
this is
Ali.
on the other side.
That's not the point that I'm worried. The fact
Okay,
is
we
that
back,
he's
we
blaming
back.
all black guys for beating white girls.
No, he's saying they very likely to. You know what I mean? They might just be like, "Yo, what the fuck is this chicken? You didn't season it properly," and they whoop their ass. That's what he's trying to say. He's not saying all of us do. He's saying a lot of us.
And Dion, I don't agree with what he's saying, but at the same time, I think it's the equivalent of when black people say that white people shoot up schools. It's the same type of stereotype. So I like Nick's racism. I like that he could be honest and as racist as black people can be racist.
This is the first time I've ever.
And that's a fact too. What he said, you feel me? What he just said was a fact. You feel me? Like, if a black person was to say exactly what he just said, it wouldn't have been that uproar. I think what was his name? Dr. Umar. He said exactly what he said. Nobody batted an eye. Nobody said anything. But the moment you feel me, hear a white man say it, everybody want to go crazy and everybody want to call him a racist. But what he's saying is facts.
I've never heard someone say that black people beat white girlfriends. Like, I've never heard this before ever.
That's the
Right,
traditional.
right.
That's what white people. That's what white people.
His
are so
girl was
afraid of.
black. His girl's not even white.
What they do? Well, I guess black, white, that's, it's something that happens. I covered a story about this on my show a couple weeks ago, but that's not the only thing. Here's the thing. I'm halfway kidding about that. The thing is, and I was explaining this to Sneako,
Halfway.
is, what?
Halfway.
Halfway, here you go. The thing is I value my identity. And I also have a view of sexuality that I'm Catholic. So I think that people should get married before they have sex, and they should have sex to have kids. And so I want to meet a wife, and I want to marry her and have kids. And I want my wife and I want my kids to reflect my identity. And that's something that's important to me. My heritage is important to me. My identity is important to me.
Wait, what's your heritage? What's your identity?
I'm half Italian, I'm a quarter Irish, and I'm a quarter Mexican.
So which quarter are you going to meet somebody who's like identically that, or just like a half Italian is good enough?
No, not necessarily, but preferably someone who's Italian, preferably someone who's just white.
And what they're trying to do, they're trying to get on him about this and that, you feel me? About him being mixed race and he shouldn't feel like that. But the thing is, you can't go off that little, that's like a white person saying they black because they got 3% black in them, bro. You're not black, bro. You're white, bro. Like, obviously, I mean, he's just naming from what he's know. He's telling you, like, okay, I got Mexican in me, but it's 9 times out of 10, he just said it was a minority. I forgot what he said, you feel me? And you feel me? YouTube is tripping right now, so I'm not trying to rewind and it messes up. But from what I remember is he didn't say it was a major percentage in that. So it's like, you can't really fault him that he wants a white child.
White and Catholic, someone who's going to look like me, and generally, I don't think it needs to get too precise, but obviously, if I married a black girl and I had like a black kid, it's like I'm not black, So and I would look at my son and not really be able to identify in that way.
Okay,
And
I want to ask you.
Facts. Like, he's not saying he would mistreat his son, but it's like, that's not him. That like, he cannot look at his son and see himself, is what he's saying. Like, and that's a fact.
Question. I want to ask you a question. Do you identify more with your religious side or your racial side?
Probably. Well, I think the thing is about people's identities is that people's identities are complex. So it's not so much to say, oh, well, I'm more Catholic than I am white. I mean, I'm both. I'm Catholic and I'm white. But to me, Catholicism, that's a foundation of my worldview.
Okay, so if you met a black woman who was a Catholic, or an Irish or an Italian woman who was like Buddhist, which one, if you had to pick between the two, which one would you marry?
Well, I would marry neither. But if I had to marry one, that's a tricky question. I don't know.
Come on! You just said your religion is more foundational. Come on, bro.
Well, but here's the thing. I mean, that's true. And as a Catholic, I should say the Catholic, but I want to have a kid with green eyes like me. I want to have a kid with my white face. I don't want to have a kid.
Well, you're Mexican. You have Mexican in you.
Okay, but I have brown hair. I have white skin.
You know what I realize about white people?
Bro, you know how many light-skinned Mexican people I know?
Yeah, okay. Well, point being is I want to marry someone that looks like me.
I don't
That's
know
a
what it
very
is about
human
white
thing.
people.
But is it that you want someone you made that looks like you, or is the ideal person you want to be with is white because you're not fully
white people
white?
want to be with somebody that looks like their sister, low key. They always get together. Like, if you look at most white couples, they kind of look like siblings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of
What
crazy.
is he talking? What is he
Well,
talking?
the thing is,
You could think of a lot. Chad, am I right? WRL, I know a lot of white couples that low key, like, are you guys related?
But hold on, I gotta ask. So this is my thing, right? You say that your religious side is foundational to you. You're a soldier of Jesus. You're ready to bang for the cross, whatever. But then you telling me you gonna choose somebody over the skin color over religion. I start to question your priorities because it don't sound like what you were saying before.
He didn't really fully answer the question. I ain't gonna lie, he didn't answer the question. But it's like they both are. He basically saying they're both even to him. They're both equally important to him. Both of those factors are both important factors in going into his children, which is should be for anybody. You feel me?
well, like I said, I wouldn't marry either. If forced to pick, it would be a difficult question because you're right. Like as a Catholic, I should say probably, I would marry the Catholic black woman.
Just say it. Come on, bro. Just say it. Say you get with the black woman who shares your cultural and religious values.
Bro, come on, get that black juice.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I just want you to raise children that are also soldiers of God. That's the most important thing in this.
She's a God-fearing black bro. No one loves God more than the black woman. My grandma loved God. My mama loved God. Your black queen in the future is gonna love God. Get you a black queen, bro. BLM in the chat.
Here's the thing, I cut a lot of black. I said this on my show. I'm attracted to Asian girls or black girls or things like.
Exactly what I said. Like attraction. Like he said he feel like they look good, which is lust. That's a lustful feeling. They look good, which is, I mean, you can't help with what looks good. You feel me? But that's when sexual discipline comes in. You feel me? And that's when discipline comes in, and like you should know that. You feel me? This would destroy my foundation. This would destroy my community. This would destroy me. So don't let these desires, you feel me, ruin that. You feel me? And you can say that about anything with LGBTQ community. Like, whether they attracted to that another man or not, you dating another man, that can destroy you. That can destroy the family. You feel me? That can destroy your community. You feel me? So it's like, bro, that's when sexual discipline kicks in, bro. That's where discipline, period, and accountability and responsibility, that's when that kicks in. You feel me? But a lot of people, we too divided to even realize that. You feel me?
Like that. But it's about my priority is trying to create a family. And the thing is, like, it's true that I have ideals and I have religion, but also I have an identity as a flesh and blood person. And this is the problem, in my opinion, with society, that we want to make everything about ideas and everything is about this, our constructed identities. And like,
literally, bro, we live in a world that's hypothetical. We trying to build a hypothetical world, a world that does not exist, bro. Like we are in this weird, we're in this weird reality, bro, where we make up stuff. We live in delusion, bro. Like we act like things like race don't matter, things like gender don't matter, things like, you feel me, everything that matters don't matter, basically. Like, come on now, bro. I feel like I know we're living in the last days, bro, because the world is upside down.
Like when we talk about America, we say America is an idea, and it's about, you know, what are your cultural beliefs? What's your culture? And all of that matters, but we also are at the same time human beings, and we're real physical people in the world with like a definite physical characteristics and definite genetic characteristics, and those things actually matter too, as we're finding out. And so, you know, yeah, does my religion matter to me? Yeah, more than anything, but also, I am a man and I am a white man, or I'm a Italian, Mexican,
so
Irish man as well.
Catholic.
And
You're
those
more
things
white than
matter
Catholic.
too. I'm what?
You're more white than Catholic.
Well, I'm both. That's the thing. Both of those things
Right.
are part of
Can you
it.
educate Gideon on? Gideon keeps saying WBLM. He doesn't know that BLM is a scam. Can you tell him about that? Because I'm getting sick of him yelling WBLM. Yo, Gideon, that's some bot shit that you got to stop saying. BLM is a fucking
Nico,
scam.
I don't
bro.
think you see you're so surface level. Like I didn't even agree with the protest, bro. Me personally,
So why are you
I
saying
feel like
WBLM?
wait, shut the bro. I'm just saying that. But me personally, I
Okay,
feel
you're
like
just saying
the
that?
Black Lives Matter protests were the biggest wasted opportunity in Black American history, because out of any time in American history, when you galvanize that many people, you can make the biggest change.
So why are you
And
saying
I feel
WBLM?
like, oh, shut up. Let me finish. What I'm saying is, I feel like throughout those protests, I think the only bill that was ratified was like a George Floyd bill that to this day Joe Biden has yet to sign. But there's been an Asian Lives Matter bill after the fact that has been signed, and I feel like there's been an LGBTQ bill that has been signed after the fact. So I feel like the George Floyd protest was the most wasted opportunity in Black American history.
Okay, so why
we could have changed so much.
So why are you saying WBLM?
The way, like you say, oh man, you gotta keep the chat lit, man. You know how to galvanize the people, man. Like,
okay,
bro.
so you're just hyping it up.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's being provocative.
Don't hype up my chat with that fucking scam. Do you know where all the money for BLM went?
Bro, my nigga, I'm not stupid, bro. No, I feel like if this nigga, you think I'm just some like.
Hey, bro, this is like really, you feel me? Hey, I'm over here getting intrigued to this little argument, bro. It's like a little passive aggressive arguing we got going on. Here we go again,
sometimes.
Man. YouTube messing
After
up.
Pokemon, I can't even lie to you. Yo, Nick, can you tell them about the bell curve? Can you tell them what you said to me? That was the first time I ever heard a white dude say that. What do you think about the IQ thing? This is gonna fucking shake it up.
Yeah, you guys aren't gonna like this, but I just want to preface this by saying this, okay? I of all people, okay? I'm a friend to all people.
Oh, that's how you know some crazy shit.
That's what every racist say. No, I don't think he's racist. I know he's not racist. From what he said, nothing what he said sounds racist.
I love black people, okay? I love Hispanics, I love Asians. But
You know where this is going. Whenever this starts off like that, you know where it's going.
You know where it's going, okay? And I told Sneeko this, we call this race realism, okay? Which is to say that race is real. Like it's not fake, it's not skin deep, race is real. There are different races and there's meaningful differences. And one of the things is that on average, the races have different IQs. And so on average, Asians have the highest IQ, and on average, blacks have the lowest IQ. And that's why I told Sneeko. And no, that's average, okay? I'm not saying black people are dumb. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when you average it out.
You're kind of saying that.
I'm not. I'm saying on average. Well, I'm saying on average. On average, there's differences between the IQs. So I believe there are black geniuses like Kanye West. I think he's a black genius. But there's fewer black geniuses than there are Asian
Sorry,
geniuses.
y'all, man.
Example.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't think that's
we just gonna have to watch it.
So
You
I
can't
would just
do
ask,
full
why
screen.
do you think that information is important?
Well, here's why. That's actually a really good question. Because I don't say that like proudly, because I think that actually it's a fact of nature, which is kind of sad in a way. I think human inequality is sort of tragic in some sense. Like you look on TikTok in this example, and TikTok is like the worst. It's like the worst window into human inequality there is, because you could scroll through TikTok and see the most beautiful person ever, rich and objectively beautiful, and they're getting all this fame and all these likes, and then you scroll up and then you see like a deformed person who's like, they have roaches on their wall and they're like, you know, and it's like, that's actually kind of a tragic and sad thing. And anyway, so I think human inequality as a whole is unfortunate, but here's why it matters. When you look at all of the disparities in the United States as an example, you look at income inequality between the races, wealth inequality between the races, and all these other inequalities, people will say, well, if we're all starting from the same place but ending up in a different place, what happened in the middle? Racism, probably, or something. If whites and blacks and Asians and Hispanics are all the same and they all start out from the same, starting point, but they all end up wildly unequal, well, something must happen along the way. Discrimination, racist policies, etc. Well, if people are not starting from the same place, then that would explain how a system which may even have affirmative action or maybe, the opposite of racist would still be producing unequal results. We have to understand this if we want to create policies where the country can be coherent and harmonious and where everybody is treated fairly. So that's my belief. If we want to understand the world, we can't understand without understanding the reality of race and what that means.
Got it.
Do you think there's a superior race?
No, I don't. I don't think there's superior people. I think that people are unequal.
Well, hold on, but he thinks some people intrinsically have higher IQ than other people, to be honest. So he would say that on average, all else equal, a white person will be smarter than a black person.
Yes.
Destiny, this is wait, I need to hear Nick say it, because he believes that.
I disagree with that. Okay, now when he says stuff like that, I disagree with that. Do I understand why he's saying that? Yes, you feel me? Because he's basically saying we all started off from the same place, but we ended up the way we ended up. Basically, blacks on the bottom, whites on in the middle, and Asians on the top. You feel me? So it's like, how did that happen? If it wasn't about racism, how did that happen? It's basically saying IQ. But I look at it a little different. You feel me? Because it wasn't always like that. You feel me? Once upon a time, you feel me? Africans was on top, you feel me? Black people were on top. Mansa Musa and all of those people, they were on top, you feel me? But every race can't be on top forever, you feel me? The Shanghai dynasty, you feel me? Like every race, if you go back deep in history, you feel me? Every race was on top at once upon a time, you feel me? So it's like it's just the whites' turn right now in history, you feel me, to be on top and rule the world, I guess. But it's not always gonna be like that. So I disagree. I feel like he's looking at the now version. He's looking at the now in the one dimensional perspective. I'll say, like on this. Everything else, I'm not gonna flex. I was agreeing, but on this, he's basically looking at it from just a white's perspective. Basically, you feel me? He's not looking at every other race.
Before Destiny.
What's up, Destiny?
Okay.
Yeah.
I love stealing your content on stream.
We're just letting you know, on behalf of the Black delegation, we've elected Destiny to speak on this matter.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, well, before
Don't do any liberal racism, though. You got this.
I'm a huge liberal racist, okay? But I'm racist towards all people, so we're good. Okay, just before we jump into this, okay? I just be clear about who you're talking to, what the goal of the conversation is, okay? Nick has a political movement, a political ideology. His goal is not to sell you truth or to sell you a critical thought process. His goal is to sell you his political ideology. So if he comes across some idea that's contrary to what he believes, or some thought or fact that is contrary to his belief system, he's not going to tell you that, and he's not going to incorporate it into his world. He's only going to give you the pieces of information that he uses to sell his ideology. I think sometimes we're so hungry to talk to people that disagree with us, we think that everybody has valid things to say. Everybody's got valid points to consider, but you have to keep in mind what they're selling you at the end of the day. If I was to have a conversation with Nick about the value of, like, what do you think about, like, the soft sciences? What do you think about, like, psychologists and political scientists, Nick, in general?
Me?
Yeah.
I think there's some validity to them, but I don't put a lot of stock in empiricism.
Sure. So he doesn't put a lot of stock in those things, okay? The bell curve was written by a psychologist and a political scientist. These aren't genetics researchers. These aren't intelligence researchers. These aren't people that did huge dives into meta. It absolutely is true. Charles Murray is a political scientist, and Richard Bernstein is a psychologist. That's fine. We're not talking about, but I'm just saying that the book, The Bell Curve, if that book was about any other topic, you would dismiss it so quickly because of the scientific disciplines that those authors come from. You wouldn't even consider it for a second.
That's
but
not
because
true.
it absolutely is true, and you know it. But because you just told me that you didn't put much stock.
Okay, what I will say about that, about that is a lot of scientists, they get their data from a very specific group of people. For example, like if they want to prove something, they'll only grab those specific, they won't grab the total everybody else. Like they want to prove, like for example, this might sound stupid, you feel me? But if they want to make the claim that black people have a low IQ, they'll go to the hood, grab people that literally have a low IQ. That's obvious. Like, you feel me? They're going to public schooling. You feel me? Like, what do you think they're gonna have? Like, come on now, bro. Like, they'll do stuff like that. So you can't really go based off data like that. You got to actually see like why the data is like, and what the Nick dude does is he basically goes in more detail and basically show you like why it looks like this and why the data looks like this. Like, he don't just go not blindly into the data. He basically dissects it.
In those disciplines.
I said I didn't put stock in empiricism. I said I don't put as much stock in empiricism as you do, because you believe that everything is attributable to empirical knowledge, and everything should be derived from studies. I don't believe that all truth is derived from studies. I think we could derive truth from experience, and I think we could derive truth from logic, and we can recognize patterns. I don't think that we necessarily need to go and this is what you and
and that's a fact.
Josh and Hunter Avalon do is study, show me a source, show me a study. And I think that studies can aid understanding, but I don't think that's the